What's good, YouTube? It's the boys Bryce and Bobby. What you're about to watch is our ethnic studies final. Shout out Professor Shaw. We interviewed and educated students at SMC and USC. What it is, YouTube, it's your boy Bryce, and I'm here with
Bobby.
And today we're going to be asking SMC students questions about solidarity, capitalism, and immigration.
Let's get to it.
Thanks. Who are we here with today?
Owen.
Zach.
Warren.
Shadera.
My name is Sky.
My name is Owen.
And what are your preferred pronouns?
He, him.
He, him.
He, him.
He, him.
She, her.
He, him.
Do you have a favorite ice cream flavor or favorite dessert?
I'm a particular to mint chip.
I have more cookies and cream or like cotton candy. Not even lying.
Like chocolate or coffee.
Yeah, cookies and cream.
No doubt. Solid picks.
Probably mint chocolate chip.
Could you define the word solidarity?
I guess in a sense it would be like different groups who at first would have like not much to go to connect themselves with each other, find some sort of basis to join together to fight for some goal or cause that they both see as mutually beneficial with each other.
Thank you.
I mean, honestly, like what he said is pretty good.
Yeah, like unity. Solidarity is unity.
I'd actually agree with his definitions. He was spot on. Solidarity, being able to find that group of people that you find common ground with in order to go towards or achieve a common goal in that sense.
Would you be able to define the word solidarity?
Solidarity. I'd say like being unified. A group of people who all support each other and support whatever they believe in.
Are you an immigrant?
No.
No.
I was born in Beijing, but I'm not really an immigrant.
Well, I was born in Nigeria and I was raised in America, but I am an American citizen. So, in a sense, I am an immigrant, first generation.
It's the same thing.
No.
For the no people, do you think that you have shown immigrants enough solidarity?
I mean, I hope so. Like, of like what I can like achieve in my own what my actions can constitute of showing enough solidarity versus like the forces and institutions that require solidarity to be maintained. Sure, you can certainly do more, but I hope that I can, with what I'm able to do, is helpful enough to like change at least interpersonal relations of like how immigrants are treated. And
I'm always open for everyone. I don't care where you really come from. I judge a person off of how they act, really, and things like that. So, yeah, really.
I think so, considering my parents are immigrants. So, I come from a background and I understand that. So I'd like to say I do.
Absolutely.
I don't know if I know any, like, personally, any immigrants, but I do. I had a friend in high school who was born in Mexico, and so I don't know if you meant like showing political support, but he's one of my best friends from high school. He was my section leader for band and stuff, and he was awesome. So,
for you two, what is one thing that you would change about our immigration system?
For me personally, and my background, my parents came here through like their own hard work. They had to pay to come to America, so all of that toiling really brought forth the effort, and they were able to like bring me here as well. So I believe that if an individual is able to work for it, that I think it should be granted to them.
That's a great perspective. Thank you.
I think it's a very broad question. If you ask me if I like the system right now, I would say no. As for the situation at the border right now, like if I had to change something, I would say I would like the system to be less cruel. But in terms of like letting more people in, I can't say because I don't know what's good for the country,
Right. So to summarize, you think that we're very welcoming if people can offer us something, but we're not very welcoming if we need to be offering them something?
Yeah, exactly.
I think maybe the way we view immigrants, I think that's like the best first step. I feel like there are a lot of negative and harsh viewpoints towards immigrants, so just starting there, definitely.
I'm not a big news keeper-upper, so the last time I really read into stuff, I was hearing a whole bunch of terrible things about people being kept in cages and just a whole bunch of terrible stuff happening on the border. And I don't know, I would try to make it easier for people to come to our country to build a future that will be best for them.
If you would like to discover more ways to aid immigrants, the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights is a remarkable organization that aids immigrants in all sorts of ways, including but not limited to student aid, legal defense, and citizenship assistance. They're based in LA, but they help immigrants all over the country, and we'll provide you with the link to that later. So now that we understand what solidarity means, do you feel like there is solidarity along America's socioeconomic ladder?
I think looking at the modern day, with how race and ethnicity, and especially underpinning all that, the relation to immigration on top of all that, they all relate to class as well. So there's just a lot of contravening forces that are keeping people pitted against each other, and it's hard to root them out, I think.
For sure.
I feel like it's 50-50.
I would say that only the people I trust in my life have my back, and I wouldn't trust a stranger to have my back, nor should they trust me to have their back. And in terms of a socioeconomic ladder sense, in this country, I don't think anyone has anyone's back.
No, I don't think they'd have my back, because even if we're looking at the social economic ladder as our basis, and everyone is from different ethnicities, cultures, different backgrounds that build their beliefs. So in terms of that, I don't think people have your back.
I'd like to think so. I don't know everyone's viewpoints, but I feel like yes. The answer would be yes.
Okay. Why do you think that is?
Personally, I haven't experienced anything that would make me think that people who are of similar status to me don't support me. But I haven't had enough negative experiences to say otherwise.
The first thing that comes to mind is maybe just upbringing, because there are people that are self-made, that started a business and made their money by themselves, and then there are the people who just got a fat ass inheritance and don't really have a concept of having to work for it. So I feel like maybe it's more likely for people who built themselves to know where people who are less fortunate are coming from, and so maybe they're more likely to help out.
Got you. So building relationships, you think, could aid that?
Yeah.
Do you know of an existing solution to that problem?
I think educating people. I think a lot of problems that we have in our society start from just a lack of understanding. So if we educate people and we start educating them young, when we're kids in school, it could help solve the problem.
Do you know of an existing solution to this problem, aside from, we just mentioned, community building, right? Relationships. Do you know of another existing solution to that problem?
Not really.
In 2012, Forbes article titled European Socialism, Why America Doesn't Want It, author Kristen explains how in socialist countries there is high focus on cheap, subsidized childcare, free healthcare, child bonus payments, subsidized housing, and an infinite number of other ways to secure some additional income from the state. She also explains what steps some countries in Europe have taken to bring them closer to socialism. Notably, Sweden and Finland, in a benchmarking of best practices, both countries have more efficient use of money in the public sector, better value for money in education and health and healthcare, fewer persons permanently placed on social welfare, and a more friendly rhetoric towards business, growth, and job creation. Do you think socialism would aid corruption in politics?
So you're asking me everything you just described that Sweden and Finland are doing, if that was incorporated here in the U.S., if it would benefit us?
Yes, politically, do you think that candidates would be less welcoming to take bribes, and do you think that lobbying would be as effective as it is currently?
Okay. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Maybe. I'm not a huge political person. It's possible. I know that there was a lot of like huge like election rigging stuff with like the presidential elections going on.
My personal theory is that when we eliminate the scarcity of resources like healthcare and housing, then solidarity will come much more naturally. What characteristics of this model, if any, would you like the American government to adopt?
The stuff you said earlier, like the healthcare stuff, definitely. Supporting businesses, especially supporting small businesses. Honestly, anything to help the people and help people of lower socioeconomic statuses. To make it an even playing ground for everyone. Yeah.
So, thank you.
I mean, free healthcare sounds awesome. I agree. Free health insurance would kind of be a huge step in the right direction.
What is a way that we can improve or express solidarity at this school?
That's a great question. I think we do a pretty good job right now just with all the resources that we offer, but if we were to continue with that, I don't know. Like, I think the bodega is really great. Resources like that. I don't know. I'm sure there are like more things that can be implemented, but as of right now, I feel like they've got a good start at least.
Yeah, I'll agree. SMC does a great job with helping underprivileged people.
Clubs. I like the idea of clubs.
And final question, what is a group you think needs your solidarity right now?
Right now? Great question. There are lots of groups. The LGBTQ plus group, the whole situation with Palestine and Israel, lots of groups, yeah.
Right now, I'd probably say like Palestinian Americans or just like international diasporic Palestinians.
I would like to say for what he said, I feel like both sides, because I have friends from both sides of this that like say like, oh, this side's bad or this side's bad. I feel like because it's both all bad, that they're all just killing each other at this point.
If the question had been, what group would you give solidarity to, and it doesn't matter if I'm not a part of it, I would say young men, because that's the group that I am a part of, that my friends are part of, and those are the people that I would like to help. And in doing so, I think I could help young men of any race. But a group I'm not a part of, I would say young women our age,
I feel like any group that I would join, as far as like immigration stuff, that I would make a very small, like I wouldn't be a huge cog in the wheel. I don't know. I think it'd be cool to do a protest one day and just see what it's like from the other side. Because I always like sit at home and like watch it on the news and like see crazy stuff happen. But I've never been there in person, so I think that'd be cool to go.
Thank you for your time and participation. Are there any people or social medias you would like to shout out?
No.
Okay. Any parting words?
This is cool. Thanks for asking me these questions.
Thank you. Oh, and I want to thank you for your time and participation. Do you have any social medias or any people that you would like to shout out?
My Instagram is Mimo, MIMO_drums. And if you like percussion stuff, then go look up Broken City Percussion on Instagram. That's where we do a whole big winter circuit thing. It's pretty cool.
No doubt. Peace.
What's going on, guys? It's Bobby.
It's Bryce.
And we're interviewing students here at USC about solidarity and what they think.
Let's see what they think.
Let's get to it. Good morning. Who are we here with today, and what are your preferred pronouns?
My name is Elvira, and my pronouns are she, her.
I'm Ariana. My pronouns are she, her.
My name is Nikki Barrelson, and my preferred pronouns are she, her.
My name is Talise Arthur Andrews II. I'm a guy.
And do you guys have a favorite ice cream flavor?
Mint chip.
Matcha green tea.
That's what's up.
Vanilla with Coca-Cola.
That's tough. Mine is cookies and cream. And could you define the word solidarity?
Solidarity is when you're standing in support of a cause or someone that you maybe are not directly associated with, but you still support.
I would say solidarity is like unity with people. Could be a group, but also you could be an individual that stands with a cause or like an opinion and a side.
I think solidarity is standing with a group, showing support in any way that you can, and just being there for a group of people, an organization, or even just a friend to support them.
Togetherness. It's the best. Togetherness.
That's a great answer. And to build off that, we learned in ethnic studies that solidarity focuses on deep relationships. Solidarity often takes sacrifice, for example, comfort, time, or labor, and solidarity binds our freedoms together. A great example of solidarity is when Filipino Americans and Mexican Americans came together to create the United Farm Workers Union in 1965. Together they organized marches, rallies, boycotts, and more to achieve the common goal of raising wages for both parties. They were able to bond over the realization that they were being taken advantage of by the same group of people, the owners of the means of production, in this case, the farm owners. And now you guys don't have to answer this question. If you refuse to answer, we can edit you guys out. Are you an immigrant?
I am not, no, but my parents are.
Yeah, I'm not, but my parents also are.
What is one thing you would change about our immigration system?
I don't know enough about it, I would say, but I think it should be more accessible for those who like really need like asylum or like a safe place to be. I think immigrating to the U.S. shouldn't be such a hard and long process, especially for people like looking for green cards and stuff. So like making it an easier and more streamlined process.
Yeah, I think right now the process is like very slow. And also I think it's a little unfair. Like there's definitely people that are prioritized in the system. And definitely I think like a lot of like international relations or country relations come into play that go a lot more deeper into politics. But at the end of the day, people are behind immigration, so people matter. But yeah, I think it's just like a slow and sometimes hard process, especially if you don't speak English or don't know a lot about the U.S. to come into the U.S. There's a lot of like barriers in place.
I agree with that. You feel like there is solidarity among America's socioeconomic ladder? And in other words, do you feel like the people in the same or less fortunate situations and economic positions as you have your back?
So it depends on the person. I think it's very mixed, or my experience is very mixed.
I think I would say I don't think there's like that much solidarity. I think like empathy and like relationship building, obviously it's not like there's like huge lines and like, okay, maybe there are, I don't know, or like huge like physical barriers between people of different socioeconomic classes. But I think even within the same socioeconomic class, it's not like people feel like that strong sense of unity. Like I think people are competitive with each other regardless. I think also like sometimes when people are in like the same socioeconomic class, for instance, like people who are like in a lower socioeconomic class, I think there's like a level of competition to like rise or like I guess gain a higher socioeconomic class. So I think in sometimes like in the way the system works, like it's not like people are trying to collaborate to like be better and grow together. It's like people are competing to be better than someone else. So in that sense, I don't think there's that much enforced solidarity or even things that are, I guess, like pushed on to collaborate with people who are like among your socioeconomic class.
I feel like that's a very complex question. I would say no. Yeah.
And then how so?
I just feel like in America, especially in our capitalist nation, everyone is kind of looking out for themselves. So I feel like it's kind of hard. When we're talking in terms of like unions, I think there's solidarity in that. But if we're talking about climbing the socioeconomic ladder, I feel like there's very little opportunity for solidarity. I'm not sure.
That's a great answer.
Yeah, there's solidarity, and there's winners and losers. So yeah, it's solidarity. It's togetherness. They're very much together on, if it don't make money, it don't make sense. Very much.
Okay. And why do you think that is?
Because America was ran off of capitalism. America was never a handout. It's capitalism. And that's how we got to where we are these days.
And do you guys know an existing solution to that problem?
Could you do her first? I'm a little.
It's okay.
The problem of what? Of the lack of solidarity among.
Yes.
Okay.
The lack of solidarity among your socioeconomic ladder.
A potential solution is like maybe within school systems, people learn more about like, I guess, different people around you, or even like diverse communities or something, where you start at a younger age to fully understand like the gravity of the world. Maybe that's very harsh to say, but I think that would be the closest thing, is like start people younger in understanding, and hopefully that when they are growing, as they like go through their formative years, they have a better understanding of the world, because I think you only feel like the weight of it when you like start to learn more and like intentionally go out to learn more about the world. But yeah,
I appreciate you using your own personal experience. Did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, I think like the existing solutions I can identify are, like Ariana mentioned, like there are like interest groups, like there's like women's organizations and like specific groups to uplift certain demographics and like support for like different levels of support for different classes. I don't know how, they're not super effective because these problems still exist, but the solutions are there. Yeah.
Not capitalism? I'm not sure.
That's actually great, because we're actually going to be talking about socialism, and we're going to educate you on the functioning models of it. So in 2012, this Forbes article titled European Socialism, Why America Doesn't Want It, author Kristen explains how in socialist countries, there's a high focus on cheap subsidized childcare, free healthcare, child bonus payments, subsidized housing, and an infinite number of other ways to secure some additional income from the state. Kristen also explains what steps some countries in Europe have taken to bring them closer to socialism, notably Sweden and Finland. In a benchmarking of best practices, both countries have a more efficient use of money in the public sector, better value for money in education and healthcare, fewer persons placed permanently placed on social welfare, and a more friendly rhetoric towards business, growth, and job creation. My personal theory is that when we eliminate the scarcity of resources like healthcare and housing, then solidarity will come much more naturally. And do you guys think that socialism would aid corruption in politics?
I think like the concept of pure socialism does like do good for the general public. Like when people talk about it, it is a very ideal situation, but historically, whenever socialism has been implemented, it has been implemented by like one leader or dictator, and then that has become corrupt. So I think like with the correct implementation, it could be a viable way of like running politics, but I think historically a lot of people are scared of it because historically it has never played out in that way. Like dictators have used socialism as an excuse to be a dictator.
That's very true.
Such a great answer. I think I would say socialism, like to work, I guess like there has to be one dominant strategy, or like in my head it's pushing people to be like more same than like identifying the differences within communities, and in that I think like maybe like corruption is like a very far-fetched thing that would come out of it, but I think it would definitely push politics to be like one dominant like political party or political like group that is enforcing these policies to increase or like push socialism. So I don't know if that creates corruption per se, but it definitely like creates some sort of dominance in like a political party or whoever is trying to enforce all of those things.
And based on what we do know, what characteristics of this model of socialism, if any, would you like the American government to adopt? And you did go into it already, but are there any more you could think of?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Especially in Los Angeles, I think the housing situation is something that we could be doing a lot more. I think we've started just in terms of building more affordable housing and housing for unhoused individuals, but I think that we can go even deeper. And there's so much land in LA, there's so much unused land in America in general that can be used for, you know, low-income housing, housing for individuals who don't have it.
I think a lot of basic human needs should be met for everyone kind of in the US. Like basic healthcare exists in a lot of countries, free healthcare exists in a lot of countries, like affordable housing exists in a lot of countries, and I feel like that issue is like what is the word, like exaggerated in the US because people are very, very into like independence and anti-socialism. So like I feel like people shouldn't be struggling to like receive healthcare and the very basic things that we need. So I think the US government should adopt like at least
like a free healthcare system.
Education should be good for like everyone should be able to access that. And food, like food security.
Yes, I agree 100%.
Yeah, I feel like free healthcare or universal healthcare is something that the U.S. government should attempt to adopt. I know that it like is very difficult in the sense that like there's like tons of different groups among the U.S. and also each state is different in like the policies that they have. So I feel like something the U.S. should maybe start with if they're trying to like, if in this hypothetical world of socialism, I think also like each state has to like be united in what they provide for the residents within their state, whether it is like policies that build solidarity for like universal healthcare, like housing, food, everything like that. So I guess like the first step would just be figuring out a way to unite all the 50 states in the policies that they have, which I could imagine would be super, super difficult right now, but I guess in this like theoretical world, that would be the first step that like the government should adopt, is uniting the states, and then within those states, the policies that they all outline.
I would never allow, in a blink of an eye, socialism, for the sheer fact that no one should take money from someone else and decide to dole it out on what they feel is correct. Because what can naturally come about comes from capitalism. Like if it doesn't make money, you don't need it. But the idea of taxing someone 50% on income just to hand out to other people, you'll naturally fall into people's personal comfort, like people's personal, like what they want to do with a situation. If the government comes part of your life and you're getting a handout, it's never free.
Thank you both for your time and your answers. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to do this interview. And what is the way that we can improve or express solidarity at this school here at USC?
Let me think about it for a second.
No problem.
I think, well, something that I realized like just being a student is like, I guess like you don't really see people, like if you don't do clubs, then like you're like the social circles you see are people in your classes. But I think if you don't intentionally take classes that are different from your major, you're kind of stuck in the bubbles that major is in. So you don't really feel like, I guess, a sense of like, I guess you don't really understand how like other people's school experiences are, and it's like hard to make friends kind of not in the environments you always like are existing in. So I feel like maybe like finding ways to have more crossover like courses to like that USC can actually push people to like to have classrooms where students have like different like backgrounds or even different just like academic thinking styles. I feel like that's something USC can definitely enforce by creating classes that like cross over between schools, because I think that would help build a sense of understanding between people that have different course loads or different just like schooling experiences.
Yeah, and I totally second everything you say. I think it is up to each student to take classes or to engage with groups that they aren't necessarily super comfortable and familiar with. Like, it's very easy to stay in like your comfortable bubble, but it's important, I think, for every single student to like challenge themselves and try to make connections that they normally like wouldn't, and kind of go out of your comfort zone and to speak to different people that you may not necessarily like associate with normally.
Like myself.
Yeah.
So
The interview.
yeah, the interview. So like,
Intent, mindset. If you don't come here with intent to leave this place better than where you found it, we'll be in the same position in 50 years.
I don't want to get myself in trouble, but I think that students can show solidarity in terms of supporting their classmates, supporting people who are suffering overseas. Not going to Starbucks is one of those things that a lot more people could be doing in order to support Palestine. And I think protest is a form of solidarity as well, and getting that message out, I think, is very important.
that's very true. And to build off that, what is a group you think needs your solidarity right now?
I mean, I'm, again, going to go back to Palestine. I think that is a group that I could be doing more in terms of supporting, in terms of aid, and also spreading that message on social media.
Male youth, black male youth, I think we need to be more influential on what we teach male youth. I think, yeah. I think that would definitely help us, like, a lot.
Like, I really appreciate you guys doing this interview. There is a QR code if you guys want to scan it. It'll show you all the resources we talked about today. And any parting words, any shout outs you guys want to give?
Hi, Mom.
I was also gonna say hi, Mom.
All right. Well, thank you guys again.
Yeah, thank you. Nice to meet you.
And are there any people or social medias you want to shout out?
Not really. No, I think I'm good. But
All
thank
right.
you. Let me just scan that.
All right, yeah, no problem. All right, and yeah, thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
I appreciate it. Is there any people or social medias you want to shout out? Anybody you want to say hi to?
Deshaun Jackson, I still could guard you.